If this card is normal or special summon. This is an Infernoid, right? Yep. You can send one Infernoid monster from your deck to the graveyard, except Infernoid Decatron. And if you do, this card gains levels equals to that monster's. Its name becomes that monster's, and replace this effect with that monster's original effects. Look, I was still stuck on the fact that this thing can be normal summon. Does this mean that finally you can play Infernoids with all Infernoids? That might not be a good idea, but I'm damn sure going to try that shit. And it's a TUNA, so you can synchro and stuff. Yippee! And you don't have to play stuff like Glow Up Bulb and shit. You also get to send an Infernoid, which also helps you summon more Infernoids. And if that wasn't enough, this copies the sent Infernoid's effect. So depending on situation, you could just send the level 4. I'ma blow up a backer, or the level 3, blow up a monster, or the level 2, bounce a face-up card. That shit is wonderful. And they made this a tuner. Well, goddamn. Apparently Infernoids have dreams too. All Infernoid monsters you control with an original level 2 or higher become level 1. Infernoids have that restriction, 8 or less, equal levels or ranks of effect monsters you control to summon these fuckers. If they're level 1, you can summon a shit ton of Infernoids, maximum of 5. Also, any battle damage they inflict to your opponent is halved. Guess you're not attacking with these motherfuckers, but wait! You can send this face-up card from the field to the graveyard. Fusion summon one Infernoid fusion monster from your extra deck, using monsters from in your hand or your side of the field as fusion materials. If your opponent controls a monsters that will special summon from the extra deck while you do not, you can use up to 6 monsters in your deck as fusion materials. Now, if you just happen to have a monster that was summoned from the extra deck, you can just use one of the big niggas and tribute that monster. So you can use 6? That's an interesting number. Oh shit, it's an Infernoid fusion. I had no idea. It requires the level 9 and the level 10 and one or more Infernoid monsters. Well, it's a good thing you can use materials from your deck, right? When this card is fusion summoned, you can activate the appropriate effects depending on the number of fusion materials with different names. And we were doing so good. Use Force Fusion Summon and Resolve in sequence. 3 or more monsters. Each player sends 3 cards from their extra deck to the graveyard. Well, you can send this, I don't know, 5 or more monsters. Each player sends the top 3 cards of their deck to the graveyard. I guess this should be hurting your opponent more than it hurts you, because you want to send more Infernoids to the graveyard. 8 or more monsters. Each player returns up to 3 of their banished cards to their graveyard. This is obviously fucking wonderful for Infernoids. You just return some shit to summon more Infernoids. 10 or more monsters. Each player sends all cards in their hand to the graveyard. These effects are lackluster, but I think they're supposed to be. I think some people are missing the large picture, and that is using its required materials, and then if you're using Void Dream, that's 8 motherfucking Infernoids with different names if you're even playing that many, which allows you to summon more Infernoids. And this card can be special summoned, because it doesn't say that it can't be, but you can only activate the effects if it's fusion summoned. And worst come to worst, 3 or more monsters, you can send copies of this bitch. If there are going to be any more Infernoid fusions, who knows? They don't even need the shit. It seems like more and more archetypes are getting fusion-based boss monsters. This is not a bad thing, but it is an observation. When the fuck is Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro and or Dev Pro going to update so I can play this shit? So, I think everybody for watching. Appreciate that shit. If you want to support me or whatever you want to call it, all you gotta do is spend literally seconds and click an advertisement. The money that I make from you doing that goes to helping me pay rent. First world problems I know. Because some people don't even have a roof over their head. I'll be grateful and appreciative if you can find some time to help a brother out. I didn't say these cards were good, but I didn't think I had to.